Hey guys, welcome back to Brass Gaming. I'm Christian. Alongside me finally in the studio again is
Aspen.
And so today we're going to talk a little bit about Core 2021. And we're doing a little bit of a shorter episode this time. You know, we're going to give our takes on the set, you know, what we think. And so, yeah, that's pretty much our topic for today.
Yep, and we'd like to encourage you, the audience, to like, share, subscribe, and comment. All those, they mean a lot to us. And we just want you to come along with us as we grow as a channel. And to begin things off, Christian, what is your overall thoughts on the set?
I'm really excited. I think the set is super sweet. I think it's got a lot of really good cards, some valuable reprints, which we'll get into here in a minute. You know, we have some very powerful stuff coming, and a couple things I'm really surprised that are hitting standard, especially my number 1 reprint. But besides the point, so Aspen, what is your overall thoughts about this set?
I think it's a very interesting set.
Okay.
We see a couple cards. Not to mention any cards, but we see the Shrine mechanic come back, which we've not seen since Kamigawa. So it's just really crazy to see. And when I first saw that, I was like, I don't know what to think of the set, but now it's all out. Very excited.
I mean, we have doggos and cats coming in and becoming important, and the Hounderata to dog, which of course our Catherall video came up right after that got recorded, and we mentioned Kunaros was a hound. It's like, oh, great, of course. But forgive us, guys. We do record about 3 to 5 videos per time we get in the studio. We just have to book studio time and everything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about our top 2 cards we're hyped for. And utilizing our awesome technology we have, let's go ahead and cut to it. And so as you can see, my number 1 card, which... talk about a huge reprint that's going to tank this price, hopefully. $200 card, formerly. Now it's going to be a lot cheaper, which is Grim Tutor. This is 1 generic, black for sorcery. It reads, search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle your library. You lose 3 life. Wow. I mean, sure, it's not better than some of the other tutors that we play, but the fact that this was a $200 card getting printed into standard, even if it's a mythic, it's going to drop the price.
Oh, yeah.
I am super, super excited. Do you have any take on Grim Tutor being in standard, Aspen?
I think it's going to be very interesting. I can see maybe like some controller combo aspects coming from this to get pieces if one comes up. I'm not super into standard right now, but like I could definitely see us making an interesting splash.
Absolutely. And this next card, I think, is interesting for standard, too, which is your number 1.
My number 1 is Teferi, Master of Time, for 2 generic blue, a legendary planeswalker, Teferi. And he says, you may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time, on any player's turn anytime you could cast an instant. And to continue on, +1 loyalty, draw a card, then discard a card. -3, target creature you don't control phases out, which means that it and anything attached to it as though they don't exist until its controller's next turn, which is really insane too. Then -10, take 2 extra turns after this one, and it starts off at 3 loyalty. Now, I think this will make it very interesting playing standard. We now have a planeswalker that can activate at instant speed. It can protect itself at instant speed. It can find you an answer at instant speed. I don't know if it'll see play in Modern. I've talked to some friends, but I think it's a revolutionary planeswalker. It's very interesting. What do you think about it?
So Teferi is interesting. There's a lot of really good like mid-game draw cards in standard right now for the blue X decks. So we'll just have to see if people are willing to play this Teferi over other stuff. You know, I don't want to mention them right now because I don't want to speculate because I'm not into standard. I don't want to assume I know more than I do. But, you know, I talking with your former roommate, you know, we were like, you know, there's some other stuff that, who knows, maybe this is better. But, you know, very excited to see in Teferi, one of my most favorite planeswalkers that's ever existed in the game. And he's super sweet. So going on to my number 2. This is Chromatic Aurora. This is a 7 generic for a legendary artifact. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. Tap, what's that, 5?
Yep.
Adds 5 mana to your mana pool. Then 5, tap it, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. So, I think this is interesting because of, it taps for 5, which is super sweet. But you may spend mana or mana of any color, and that includes your Chromatic Orrery mana. And so if you want to go to the next card, it combos with this card. It's called Filigree Sages. So Filigree Sages is a Shards of Alara card. It's 3 generic and a blue for an artifact, creature, Vidalcan wizard. However, what's relevant is 2 generic and a blue to untap target artifact. And it's a 2/3. So you play your Filigree Sages, you play your Chromatic Orrery, and now you are able to essentially draw your whole deck, add infinite mana, and just a nice little combo. Like, it's a sweet combo. It's something that I would probably do in Commander if I was feeling kind of janky, Overall, like, just an interesting card, I think. What do you think, Espen? I
think it's super sweet. I was actually brewing for a few decks last night, as I like to do, and maybe stay up a little too late. But I think it's really awesome. I really want to... And plus, you know what's great about it? It's a colorless artifact. It can go into any deck, which is also super awesome. I think it will definitely be seen in many Commander decks, though it is quite costly on the mana cost.
Yeah, of course.
But I think the benefit almost outweighs it. Especially with the multicolored, draw multiple cards off that ability. Yeah. It's really awesome.
Super good. So, what is your final super excited card you're happy for?
This card, Azusa, Lost But Seeking, for 2 generic and a green, legendary creature, human monk. It is a 1/2. And it says, you may play 2 additional lands on each of your turns. I would like to point out something. Again, I do not play much Standard, but there is a card in this set in Standard right now called Uro.
Yeah.
And I just think it's going to make a huge splash. Yeah, here. You want to pull it up. Right quick. Yeah.
Oh, of course, it's not the first card that pulls up, but we'll find if you want to keep talking.
Yeah, but Uro is a insane card. There he is. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. For 1 green and a blue, legendary creature, Elder Giant. When Uro enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever Uro enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card, and then you put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. You can escape it for a green, green, blue, blue, and then exile 5 other cards from the graveyard. I'm sorry for mentioning the card, but I just had to. That and just like more cards in the set that are out. Like, I think Simic Ramp is going to be huge. I may be wrong, but
this also poses an interesting question for the Breach decks, the Breach Storm decks in Pioneer. Is it worth it to take a turn off, play a Azusa, then drop a couple more lands from that deck? With your prime land being Lotus Veil? Is that what it is? I forget what it is. But it's the land that has hexproof.
Oh, Lotus Field.
Lotus Field, yep. Let's see.
There it is, bottom right.
Yep, there's Lotus Field. So Lotus Field is a hexproof land, enters battlefield tapped. When Lotus Field enters the battlefield, sacrifice 2 lands and add 3 mana of any one color. So, I personally, I don't think that Azusa is going to make much of a splash in this deck, because I think the game plan's pretty tight, although I'm not an expert at Pioneer since, none of us have played in like months. But besides the point, I was talking with a friend, and he said, it could be interesting to see if people are willing to take a turn off, drop an Azusa, then drop a couple more lands to set up the big Lotus Field turns. So overall, let's talk about how we rate this set. So I'm giving this set a solid 8 out of 10. Now, at the end of the day, we're excited for a lot of these cards, but at the end of the day, it is a core set, and there's a lot of draft chaff and a lot of cards that, maybe they're not very good. But I think the reason this set gets 8 out of 10, because I think the good mythics are good enough to sustain this. I mean, we have some killer ones, just alone, the Grim Tutor, I think, makes a set worth buying packs for, even though I don't think you should buy packs if you don't have to. Go buy a Grim Tutor, but if you're feeling lucky, why not buy packs? So 8 out of 10 for me. So that's what's your rating.
I think I'd also give it 8 out of 10. Its playability is great. We see that Grim Tutor Reaper, which is awesome. We see the revolutionary Planeswalker. I only say that because it's a first of its kind. Do things at instant speed. So I think that's just amazing. Will it be busted? That is still to be foreseen. But I still think that it is a great card, and most of the cards I think are going to see a lot of fun play in Standard.
Absolutely. So this is going to do it for this episode. As you're going to see on screen right now, you have our overlay If you want to follow the channel, we're at Real Brass Gaming. If you want to follow me, I'm at HacksmasterReal. And Aspen, how can we follow you on Twitter?
On Twitter, you can follow me at ESPN_1926.
And guys, it's been a lot of fun. So for the Brass Gaming Podcast, I'm Christian.
And I'm Espen.
And we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.